Everybody. Um, what's really exciting is it's a beautiful Thursday as we go live from not so sunny Minnesota. But I'm super excited to talk about a topic that I am extremely passionate about, and that is freelancers. Question for you guys. Who here is currently a freelancer? Drop a yes if that is you. Pretty awesome. Hello, good to see you. Okay, so we're going to be diving into a couple of really important topics, things that we just haven't been taught as freelancers before. Maybe people have talked about them in light and fluffy ways, but I don't know about you. I definitely, when I have learned about being a freelancer, there's a part of me that's always kind of craved just a little more substance. Like, can someone explain what that means? You guys ever feel that way? Maybe you watch a video on YouTube and everything is super high level, like build a network or charge more or very, very vague advice. And we're going to get pretty nitty gritty today, which is really excited. I'm honored that I have the opportunity to serve you and to support you with some higher level training that also gets into the nitty gritty. So we're going to talk about how to generate six figures as a freelancer without having to work 80 plus hours per week. Drop a yes if you're excited about this, because I know I am. I see you guys in the chat. You're awesome. There's three main topics we're going to talk about today. And the first is, so drop a one if you're excited about this one, and that is the high ticket mindset. Now, the wild thing is everything that we've been taught and that we've learned about working with clients is totally wrong, sets us up for failure, and really and truly puts us into a cycle that keeps us from being able to break a glass ceiling. Drop a one if you felt that, if you're excited about that, because this is one I'm really, really passionate about. And I'm going to explain to you guys the difference between me following the advice I had learned previously and what our business looks like today. Cool? All right, number two is the expert framework. And this is really and truly what the experts know that you may not, that allows them to grow their revenue faster. Has anyone ever watched an expert and you kind of always felt like they were in a different, maybe like a different league a little bit? You think like, oh, that works for them, but what about me? Like, I'm just a normal person. I don't have this crazy pedigree. Do you guys ever feel that way? Drop a two if you're excited about the expert framework. This is so cool. I see Angelica, I see Dawn, I see Georgina, I see so many great people. Tim, you're always here. I love that. Amazing. So two is one that I'm also really passionate about, because when I got started as a freelancer, I remember just looking at all of the experts and being like, well, that's great for them, but what about me? I'm just starting out, and all of their advice is like build a team, pump out insane amounts of content. And I was like, that does not feel accessible for a mom of multiple kids, right? Can I get an amen in the chat? And number three is how to screw hustle once and for all. Can I get a yes in the chat if you're excited about this one? Drop a three. This is how to get the results that you want without working evenings or weekends. And yes, that's even before you hire a team. Drop a three if this is one that's been missing from your life and your business, because I'm just going to straight up tell you, you guys, there is so much more than just business. And so many times experts and gurus set us up to completely fail, at least maybe succeed in business, but to fail having a personal life, or to fail hobbies, or to fail the relationships that we have outside of business. Business is so fun at times, but there is also so much more. Yes, I'm actually saying this from my platform. There is so much more to life than just business. Business is great. It's an accelerant. It can give you so much freedom. But then what's that freedom for if you just reinvest it all back into building a business? No, thank you. All right. So I want to talk about one thing before we dive on in, or actually just a couple of quick things, because this will be really helpful for you. There may be times as I'm sharing that something hits pretty hard. And when that happens, I want you to drop AHA in the chat. Test it out right now real fast, because this helps me to see like where the light bulbs are going off for you. It's different with every single group of people. And I like to customize what I'm teaching based on what is hitting home. So AHA in the chat, which is aha. And that is a helpful way for you to anchor in a thought or help other people see, oh, there's something there. The second thing I want to share is about triggers, insecurities, and attaching stories. So if I share something and instantly you feel, do you guys ever feel that like, it's like resistance takes hold of your body for a second when you're learning. When you're learning something new, you are literally expanding neural pathways in your brain. And that is an uncomfortable process. It's a rewiring of your brain. And so when you feel a trigger or an insecurity or an old story reattaching, I want you to actually kind of like make a note of it. So that's an important thing that helps you with the process of rewiring. Because if it was just as simple as I'm just going to keep doing the same old thing, having the same old thought processes, we would all be multi bajillionaires. But the truth is, in order for us to grow, we have to experience that resistance and discomfort of trying something new. Pretty cool, right? Okay. The last thing I want to share is, and this is a big one, if you want to criticize someone, just don't. You probably have plenty to work on yourself. Fair. I like to keep spaces criticism free so that we all have the opportunity to grow without feeling like we are being, and this is me included, without feeling like we are under a microscope 24/7. Fair? Anyone like being in a safe space for learning, growing, trying new things? Now, save your questions until the end because we will have some time for questions. Drop a yes if you have some questions that you would love to have answered. Um, One really cool announcement. If you stay until the end, I'm going to share with you a bonus just for attending. Who here wants a bonus just for attending? Pretty awesome. Um, I'm so excited. So that will come at the very end of this, okay? Now, real fast, there's one thing that I want to just take on, and this is a common enemy that we all have, okay? And what's interesting is we can learn all day about expansion, about high ticket growth, about how to expand our businesses, grow. But doubt is something that actually keeps many of us from progressing. Drop a yes if you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is a common enemy that we all have on some level, whether it's the doubt that we've been given to other people or from other people, whether it's the doubt that we have towards ourselves. So, what I want you to try doing is, this is going to sound really cheesy, but sometimes the cheesy stuff works. Cool. I want you to take doubt and I want you to actually like imagine yourself holding it in a jar. And I like to close my eyes for this, and go ahead and head on over to a shelf, place doubt on a shelf and say, I'll come back to you later. I want to focus on suspending doubt for a little bit and actually thinking about what is possible. Because with doubt, doubt is kind of like a rat turd. Yes, for real. If I made you brownies and I told you there's just one rat turd in the batter, just one, so it's not a lot, would you eat that brownie? Or would you say, no way, it's been poisoned? Doubt is the same way. Doubt is that rat turd in an ooey gooey brownie batter. And I really, truly mean that. So, what we're going to do is suspend doubt, because the truth is, what I'm going to share with you today is going to completely transform the possibility of your trajectory. But only if for a moment we suspend doubt and step fully into, ready, drop this word in the chat, belief. Belief. I always like bathroom humor analogies. I think they're really funny and they kind of stick with you. So drop that word in the chat, belief, because that's what we are going to choose to step into today. I'm going to be sharing some things that you've probably never heard and definitely never heard in this way before. Okay. Now, grab a pen and paper, close distractions. Let's go ahead and dive in. Who am I, real fast, in case any of you don't know? My name is Rachel Peterson. I am a social media strategist and consultant. I started my business 8 years ago. And what's wild is over the last 8 years, I went from charging $500 or $600, sometimes $1,000 per client, to today, literally signing clients for $117,000 to $247,000 per year. Drop a yes in the chat if this is already inspiring belief for you. Now, just about 10, 11 years ago, I was a single mom on welfare. I'm a college dropout. I come from a very, very sketchy, intense background. I definitely didn't have a pedigree when I jumped into the space of being a marketer. And so what's really powerful is realizing how much you can grow in just a span of 8 years. I'll share one really cool thing because this is kind of neat. Today, I have out $494,000 worth of proposals. So over the next month, we could be generating nearly $500,000 for our freelancing business, which is pretty neat. Now, question for you guys: where are you currently at with clients so that I can customize just a little bit more? So go ahead and drop a 1 if you are brand new with no clients yet. Okay, drop a 2 if you are at 1 to 3 clients currently. And drop a 3 if you have 4 or more clients. Ooh, that's an intense one. Gemma, ugh. You ready to change that cycle literally starting today? Everything is about to completely transform for you. Okay. Now, since becoming a freelancer, our results have been absolutely wild. And I could share a bunch of them today, but I don't want today to be about me. I want today to be about you. But we've worked with clients such as Dean Graciosi, ClickFunnels, Lionsgate, Code Red, and a ton of other really cool companies, which is very, very exciting. But the most important thing is that this has fueled so many of the dreams that we have had since implementing exactly what I'm about to share with you guys today. For example, we've paid off $100,000, over $100,000 in personal debt. We've hired my mother-in-law and father-in-law full-time. Drop a yes or an aha, by the way, if these are the types of things that you want to do with growing your business. And we've been able to actually install in our business a philanthropy fund. So every single month, we're able to give back to the causes that mean the most to us. Drop a yes or an aha if you're like, yep, this is exactly what I'm wanting. See, just even your answers so far already tell me that you're deserving of this, because so often people assume that those who make a lot of money are greedy. And right here, I'm seeing people who care about making a difference. And that right there tells me that the world needs you to build your business so that you can pay it back to the world. Pretty cool. Pretty cool, you guys. Now, I'm going to share something that most experts won't share with you. And I think this is really, really important. This is going to be hard work. Can I get a yes in the chat if you hear me loud and clear on that? Thank you. Because a lot of times there's this promise of like, this is going to be easy. This is going to be fast. This is going to be, you're just going to tap the easy button. I'm here to tell you that that's not the case. It's going to be hard work. So if you are not willing to do the hard work, if you are lazy, you might want to leave. Cool? Because the truth is, building a successful business is hard work, without a doubt. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yes, I am actually sharing that from my platform. But if you're willing to do the work that others aren't willing to do, you can live a life that others can only dream of. Pretty neat. So let's dive on in to strategy 1. Who's already getting inspired, excited? You guys ready? So I grew my business the first time around to $1 million per year. And you know that there's sometimes that sneaking feeling when you get something good that you feel like you don't deserve it. And you kind of start to pull away from all of the habits that built it. For example, like if you clean your entire house and then you're more used to chaos, or you get a really good job and then you sabotage the job and end up getting fired. Well, I did not step fully into the high ticket mindset. So I was doing everything through brute force. Okay. Now, here's what's wild. A lot of the experts are teaching things that are keeping us stuck in a low ticket mindset. Can I get a yes in the chat? If you've experienced this, they're teaching us things like work for free, prove your worth, don't charge too much. That's too expensive. Who do you think you are to charge? I see this all the time across social media. Well, that is all a part of the old model. And it's awful, if I'm going to be super honest. It keeps you stuck. And honestly, if you keep your prices super affordable, you will never be able to make a living. Now, this was the big shift that transformed things for me. We'll talk real fast about the mindset and then dive into what that system looks like, okay? You will never be able to make or keep more than you believe you deserve. So while I built my business to $1 million per year, there was always that feeling that I didn't deserve it, that I was greedy, that I had gotten lucky. And what's really interesting, anyone love that? Drop an aha if that one is speaking directly to you. You will never make or keep more than you believe you deserve. But I started to dive into the thoughts and beliefs that could help me to reprogram to a new place. Because even the experts like Dr. Mel Robbins said, each time, this is ready for this, each time you have the feeling that you should raise your prices and you don't act on that, you're proving to yourself that your instincts aren't worth listening to. I'm going to drop that one in the chat. Did you hear that? I got to say it again. Each time you have the feeling that you should raise your prices and you don't act on that, you're proving to yourself that your instincts aren't worth listening to. So, what that means is you are continuing, kind of like the Grand Canyon, you're continuing to carve out a neural pathway that you're not deserving of high ticket prices. Real fast, let's do this one more time. Drop a yes if you want to grow your business so that you can give people amazing dream jobs. Drop that yes. Whew, this is intense, right? Anyone like, geez, Rachel, I haven't even had my coffee yet today. Drop a yes if you want to potentially hire friends or family. Drop a yes if you want to be able to be generous or support a nonprofit, or someday, like us, create a philanthropy fund so that you can constantly pay it forward, pay it back. Yes. Okay. This is literally telling me that every single one of you is worthy of making great money. Hello. So who here is realizing that gut instinct that you've had inside of you that maybe you should charge more, or maybe for some of you should charge for the first time, was absolutely true. Absolutely true. Someone is going to get hired. Someone is going to make money. Why not you? Drop that in the chat. Why not me? Because this is a big mindset shift. It's wild, isn't it? Now, what's wild is I can tell where people's mindset is at with high ticket pricing just by learning what they charge. Tell me what you charge and I'll tell you where your mindset is at. Cool? Now, here's a flip for you in case you say, but there is no one who is willing to pay higher ticket prices. I just want to shift the paradigm. You guys ready for this? Because I'm just going to tell you, coming from a lifetime of poverty and stepping into a place of abundance, high ticket, we've generated $10 million in our two businesses over the last 8 years, which is mind blowing. I had to do some serious work here because all of the tactics in the world, all the brute force, I'm just going to hustle, it does not sustain abundance and growth. Okay. Ready for this? Just in the US alone, there are 26 million millionaires. Drop an emoji that shares your reaction or a word that shares your reaction, because this right here changed everything for me. I grew up on a street where there were no millionaires. I don't even know if there were any 100,000ers. There probably weren't. So for me, realizing that there were 26 million millionaires just in the US alone helped me to realize that there is money out there. There is abundance all around us. And that was an absolute game changer. Drop an aha if this is like huge for you, because just learning that there are people with money where 2,500, 3,500, 4,500 per month is not a big deal changes the game for every single one of us. Erin, if you've never met a millionaire, hi, I'm Rachel. Nice to meet you. Now we've met. So now you can't say you've never met a millionaire. Okay, let's keep having some fun, you guys. Who's already gotten some value because this is shifting some of the ways that you've looked at money and high ticket in the past, right? Now, the model that's been taught to us before is charge what you can. Okay, who here has felt this before? I'm going to just charge what I can. And we completely underprice ourselves, right? 300, 500 a month. maybe even 1,000 at this point is underpriced for you. Okay. The old model of charge what you can, $300 to $500 per month, is broken without a doubt. You want to know why? Because, and I'm going to pull up my calculator because I have not had enough coffee to do calculations yet. In order for us to generate really good, consistent money, you are going to have to work with so many clients, it's not even funny. Okay. So if I want to make $10,000 per month, okay, and I'm charging $500 per month, I would have to work with 20 clients per month just to hit $10,000 months. Who here says that sounds really enjoyable? I don't think so. Let's go to $300 per month because I see a lot of people charging this for really good services. Okay. To hit $10,000 per month at $300 per month, you're going to need 33 clients. 33 clients. Drop a no thanks in the chat if you're realizing that the old model of charge what you can is completely broken. Now, not just that, but what we don't realize is that it creates a ton of work and a cycle of declining work and satisfaction from our clients. Someone's vacuuming, that's real life, right? It just happens, okay? So the old model, side note, if you're working with clients and you are tired consistently, who here knows what I'm talking about? And you're just like, I'm working all the time, I'm exhausted, I don't know where I'm going to find the time to find new clients. Let's talk about why that cycle exists. So let's say you're charging $500 per month and you're working a ton, right? I'm going to share one big secret, and this is a mindset shift that will change the game for you forever. Nobody has more expectations than a low ticket client. Straight up. High ticket clients have the least amount of revisions, the least amount of it's an emergency, we need to hop on a call situations. They have the most reasonable expectations. Drop an aha if this is big for you. Okay. So you're doing tons of work, right? Trying to keep the client happy. And then you speak to the next client and they lowball you, but you're already working hard. So you're like, sure, I'll work for you for 400. And now you're getting more and more swamped, which brings you to a place of resenting your clients. Drop an aha if you felt this before. Just complete resentment for your clients. You're like, I am frustrated. I am upset. I am so exhausted. I feel like I'm deserving of more. They're still requesting emergency calls. Right? So to get new clients, you drop your rates again because you're like, I can't find any clients. You can't afford help. And you finally reach the place where you're like, maybe this isn't for me. I just want to quit at this point. Did I just hop into anyone's brains or situations at all? You felt this? It's a tough one. Exhausting. The old model is broken. And the new model is an absolute game changer. Okay? My very first client in social media was paying me $15 per hour. And I was working around the clock testing and trying, but they only counted the time spent on actual performance. The results, $75 to $150 per paycheck. At that rate, I'd be capped out at $30,000 per year. That's intense. All right. So starting today, do you guys want to start today? Who here says, no, I'll wait a few more years? Starting today, drop a yes if you're ready to start today. Okay. We're going to step into the new model. you're going to actually charge $1,000 per month for every client moving forward. Every client moving forward. Yes. Now, what's beautiful is I'm going to actually share with you my stair steps of belief. Okay. So maybe the first client is $1,000 per month. So for the next client, you might raise it by $100. $100, by the way, times 12 is an extra $1,200 per year. Drop a yes in the chat if you realize that adds up really, really fast. Okay. Under that $1,000 umbrella, now this is the key. That does not mean that you are working more or providing more deliverables. Do you guys hear me loud and clear? Drop an aha if you hear me loud and clear on that. For the same deliverables that you are offering for your existing clients. Hear me loud and clear on that? Okay. When you charge more, you do not provide more work. You provide more focused work. Got it? Because when you're in this cycle, your work is declining. You're not able to provide amazing results for your clients. Everything's rushed, right? So instead, you're more focused and you're set up for success. Next client, you might charge $1,200 per month. And this basically creates a stair step of belief for you. Whew. Who here's already getting the gold? Because this is a game changer. Now, what happens here is when you're charging $1,000 per month per client, you're able to work in a focused, grateful manner. Okay. Next client, you charge $1,100 per month. And you're making decent money. Then the next client is $1,200 per month. Before you know it, you're actually able to hire help. Drop an aha if this is changing the game for you. Drop an aha if this is changing the game for you, because this isn't taught to us as freelancers. And so when I was stuck in the old model, I just remembered being tired, frustrated, resentful, in a bad space, not able to support our team, struggling, not having enough profit. Hoofda, right? Okay. This is a sustainable business model where you can actually afford help. You actually have the time to deliver excellent results. You get to slow down. If you agree, say yes in the chat. Now, this is the starting place. But in time, you're going to continue to raise your rates until you're charging $2,500, $3,500, $4,500 per month. Getting to the place where you only need 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 clients to hit consistent 10K months. Now, this reminds me a lot of Kaylin. And when Kaylin came to me, she was charging $300 to $400 for social media for her clients per month. She kept capping out over and over again at $3,000 to $4,000 per month. And we did the calculations before. In order for her to hit a $10,000 month, she would need 33 clients. No thanks, right? She was working way too many hours per week. And today she is working less since she joined the Social Click. And she hit a $7,000 a month with ease within a few months, simply by consistently raising her rates with the stair steps of belief. Now she's hitting 10 to 20K months every single month. Mary was an Instagram expert who was charging $500 to $750 per month. She joined the Social Click, and now she sends out $1,500 to $2,500 proposals every single week. Drop an aha if this is inspiring to you. Who here is already learning and growing? Who here feels that shift in mindset, realizing it's your turn? It's your turn. It is absolutely your turn. Now, let's dive into strategy 2. Side note, who's going to implement strategy 1 already? Who here is going to implement strategy 1 already? Okay. And save your questions till the end because I'll be answering questions at the end. So strategy 2 is the expert framework. Do you guys ever feel like all the experts know something that you don't know and it gets a little bit frustrating? Kind of like they are gatekeeping something, some mystery secret, and then you see it in all of the ads on social media. It's the secret. This is the one secret. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Because that's exactly how I felt. And what blew my mind is realizing that for so long, tell me if you resonate with this. I thought that becoming an expert was a lofty goal, like one that we all would hope to achieve one day. And what is so interesting for me is realizing that expert is not what we think it is. Expert is completely differently defined. Okay. So, my very first client in social media came to me when I was actually a hairstylist, and I was literally giving her the best highlights of her life. No degree in marketing, pretty much no experience in anything business or marketing except for watching Shark Tank and deciding if I thought that things were a good equity deal or not. Can I get an LOL in the chat? You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So she came to me and we were just talking about Shark Tank and business deals and negotiations, and I'm talking all confidently because I'm just doing hair and having fun, and that's what hairstylists do. And she suddenly was like, "So tell me about your social media." And I said, "Well, I mean, I just post on social media and then clients come in to get their hair done." She said, "Can you show me your tweeter?" And I was like, "Show you my what? I don't think we do that at this salon." She goes, "The little blue bird thing." Oh, Twitter. So what was wild for me is I had this like kind of interesting moment, and I'm sitting there realizing this woman knows nothing about social media. She knows some stuff about business, but she knows nothing about marketing. Okay. And I show her my Twitter, I show her my Instagram, show her my Facebook, and she says, "We'd like to hire you as a marketing consultant." And immediately panic set off in my brain. Drop a yes if the same thing would happen for you, or maybe the same thing has happened for you. So the panic goes off in my brain. And instantly I thought about it and I was like, well, this woman keeps saying, "Show me your tweeter." Like if she keeps walking around saying that, she's going to probably see something she doesn't want to see. So what blew my mind was realizing that even though I might not be an expert to, let's say, like Gary Vaynerchuk in that moment, what I could be is an expert to that client. Drop a ha in the chat if you needed that, because you do not need to be an expert to everybody in order to be an expert to those that you lead. Your clients might be the best at plumbing, or the best at hair extensions, or the best at creating courses, but they may know nothing about social media or copywriting or building funnels or marketing strategy. And the truth is, you can be an expert to them. Who's getting that flip of the paradigm right now? For example, put me up against bro marketers. I don't have any desire to win. Does that make sense? Because I don't want to argue. I'd rather do something like go see my horses or make dinner. I'm just going to be honest. But that's not my target market. My target market is the people who don't know anything about social media, who want to crush it. You do not need to be an expert to everyone. Say this in the chat: I am an expert, because you are. You are already an expert to the clients who need you. What changed the game for me is realizing that I am an expert to someone. What if I told you today that you are an expert today to someone? Now, experts charge what they're worth, they make recommendations, and they invest in their learning. Got that? Experts charge what they're worth, they make recommendations, and they invest in their learning. In fact, ready for this? Albert Einstein said something to the extent of, if a person were to spend 1 year, just 15 minutes a day, studying a particular topic, within 1 year, they would be an expert. And within 5 years, they would be a national expert. Okay, who's getting that aha? The realization that you can be an expert. Show up, charge what you're worth, make recommendations, invest in your learning, and just grow a little bit every single day. Now, what blows my mind, you ready for this? Is that right now, your services and your expertise are the answers to someone else's prayer. Drop this in the chat. I am the answer to someone's prayer. That's a pretty cool way to look at it, huh? And in case you wonder, well, why wouldn't they just hire someone else? Well, what if that someone else doesn't care? Drop a yes if you care. You got it. If you care, then you are the answer. Because I've seen way too many clients get absolutely burned by someone else who promised to be more knowledgeable and expert filled. Expert filled, that's a new word. Okay. Isn't this a beautiful realization? Like, this is a game changer for any freelancer of any specialty, right? You guys feel it? It's pretty cool. Now, I have friends. I will say real fast, the system of education, careers, climbing the corporate ladder has kind of set us up to believe that we have to invest 10, 20, 30 years in order to be successful. It has us believing that we need formalized, pedigreed education in order to be considered experts. But I have friends with master's degrees who can't make ends meet. Do you guys know people like this? I'm sure you know people like this. They can't make ends meet or even get a job because their degrees did not prepare them for taking real action as an expert and stepping into that space. If you agree, say yes in the chat. Now, let's take it one step further with a little framework, okay? Because this is a game changer. Who's feeling good? Drop that yes. Okay, so this is a 6-step framework that is a game changer. There are 2 different positions in restaurants that bring you wine to your table. Okay, now this is funny because I'm sober for almost 8 years, but there are servers, right? So a server is going to walk up to your table and say, "What do you want to drink?" Right? We've all had that experience. Or, "Would you like one of our wines?" And that's it. They are taking an order. But there are sommeliers, and a sommelier is the expert who makes the recommendation. Did you notice what I just said? They make the recommendation just like an expert. Now, a sommelier is someone who specializes in wine. They are not an order taker. They are straight up someone who is making recommendations. So if you say, "Okay, I'm having the salmon tonight," they're going to say, "Excellent. With the salmon, we recommend this." Actually, I don't know what they would recommend. Pinot Grigio, probably, because it's a dry wine and it has a nice finish. Okay. The sommelier makes recommendations. A server takes orders. In order to step into the expert framework, you have to be someone who makes recommendations proactively instead of taking orders. So there are 6 steps to stepping fully into your expertise. You guys ready for this? Step 1 is to position yourself as an expert. Okay? So how I do this is, if I know a client hasn't heard of me before, I like to just share real fast. Hey, just wanted to let you know. So a couple of the clients that we've worked with include Dean Graciosi, ClickFunnels. We trained Tony Robbins' social media team. Here are just a couple of the wins that we've gotten. But enough about me. Let's go ahead and talk about you. So the first step is to position yourself as an expert. It doesn't always have to be wins, but it can be what your passion is, what your expertise is in. Cool? So position yourself as an expert. Step 2 is to assess the situation, right? And assessing the situation is done with questions. If a client is asking you tons of questions, you have already lost. Who's getting the aha? I'm going to take a sip of water. If a client is asking you tons of questions and they are able to get to the point where they say, well, what are your qualifications? I want to see your case studies. Can I see some of your work, etc.? If they're already asking those questions, you're already behind, and that call is most likely lost unless you redirect it back to assessing. So at the beginning of my calls, I usually say something like, I'm actually going to be really quiet throughout this call, and I'm just going to ask a series of guided questions so that we can assess where there's room for opportunity, where there's room to grow, the biggest areas for growth. And I'm just going to basically ask you a series of questions and take notes. I don't even talk hardly on my discovery calls except for building rapport and positioning myself. Okay. Now, for members of the social clique, we actually put together my exact discovery call questions. It's called the 100K discovery call questions. And then we put them all together so that they never have to guess exactly what to say. Okay, let's get this water going. Who's getting those ahas already today? Number 3, and this is essential. After I assess where things are at, I'm going to diagnose. You can't go to a doctor and say, I want Vicodin. Right? You don't go to a doctor and say, I want Vicodin. You have to share what's going on. They have to assess and then diagnose. I'm noticing this, this, and this, right? So we've got position, assess, and diagnose. Okay. Step 4, and this is big, is to recommend. Okay. Recommend. Now, recommending is big because here you are not waiting for them to say, I'm not happy with my sales, so I want you to manage my Facebook page. If you let the client steer what is going to fix them, you're back in that server position. You're back in that order taker. It removes you from the expert seat. Cool? You want to instead listen, right? Assess, diagnose, and then say, because you said X, Y, and Z, what I recommend is game changer, right? Okay. Step 5 is charge like an expert. In Florida, they have, who's getting these ahas, by the way? In Florida, they have these helicopter rides. And what happens that I see is these helicopter rides are super cheap. Who's ever seen those before, by the way? They're like $15 for a helicopter ride or $25 for a helicopter ride. And all I can think about is never in a million years. I'm not afraid of helicopter rides. I'm not afraid of planes. But why is it so cheap? In fact, what most people don't realize is that when your rates are too low, you are actually setting off red flags for prospective clients that are dreamy. Woo! Did you hear that? When your rates are too low for an important service as a freelancer, you're actually setting off red flags for dream clients. Oh my goodness. Now, if those helicopter rides were $250, I'd consider it. But the fact that it's $15 to $25, that scares me because I'm like, what's wrong with the helicopter? The same thing is true when you're charging too little and sending out proposals for low ticket pricing. Who just got that aha? Because that's a big one. That is a big one. You got to charge like an expert, okay? And then this is key. Never stop learning from masters in the craft. So this becomes an incredible cycle. And yep, pretty big, huh? Now, Krista stepped fully into her expertise. Krista's an amazing member of the Social Click, and she secured an $18,000 per month client simply by stepping into the fact that she is an expert. Drop an aha if this inspires you. One client, 18,000 per month. Holy moly, donut shop, right? Simply by utilizing the expert framework. Megan remembered her expertise when crafting a proposal. She looked at her usual package and she said, why not? Added $1,000 per month to her existing proposal and got an immediate yes. Drop aha in the chat if this is inspiring to you. Okay, let's dive on in to the third strategy. Who's gotten value already so far? Even just one golden nugget that is a game changer. Something I want to remind you of, and this is huge, is small hinges swing big doors. Small hinges swing big doors. Sometimes it's a small golden nugget that suddenly transforms everything for you, which is a game changer, right? Okay, so strategy number 3, how to screw hustle. Shall we? Let's screw hustle. Screw hustle. And start getting the results you want without working evenings or weekends. Huge fan of not working evenings or weekends. Now, in my first year as a social media manager, I made $117,000, which is not too shabby. But I was listening to those gurus who preach hustle over and over and over again. So I was working way too much. Have you guys ever heard gurus or influencers practically screaming hustle harder, like don't sleep, don't see your kids, etc.? In fact, one huge influencer who I will not name, but I guarantee you that all of you have heard of him, he once said at a private event that I was invited to that he doesn't see his kids at all, 0% Monday through Friday. And that's his deal because he's hustling. He does not see his wife or kids Monday through Friday because hustle life is the best life. What do you guys think about that? And yes, this is someone that every one of you has heard of. What blows my mind is, like, if that's what serves you, go for it. But we're probably never going to be aligned. So you might want to hop off because we probably just won't see eye to eye ever. Because if your hustle keeps you from seeing your reason for starting the hustle, you're running a broken system. Can I get an amen in the chat? I'll say this again because I'm extremely passionate about this. I've seen the burnout pipeline and broken family pipeline far too many times. I'm sick of seeing it. If your hustle keeps you from seeing your reason for starting the hustle, then you're running a broken system and your priorities are off. So what I realized is that listening to advice from gurus whose personal lives were absolutely broken, smashed, it was a recipe for the same results. Whew. Can I get an aha in the chat? Because that's pretty big. Listening to advice from gurus whose personal lives are smashed and broken into pieces, that's a recipe for the same results, right? Working more does not always equal making more. Who needs that aha today? Working more does not always equal making more. Okay? You have to work differently as a freelancer in order to make more money. Here's the big thing that I want to say, and you guys might feel the same way. If having success requires me to abandon my husband, my kids, or my personal life, it's just a hard pass. I'm not interested. If you agree, say yes in the chat, because I think it needs to be known that there's a different way. Okay, so let's just smash that idea to smithereens today. Cool? You guys cool with that? Okay, beautiful. Now, real fast, in case anyone's wondering, do I spend time with my husband and kids? Yes. There's a reason people don't see them on social media because I put my phone away evenings and weekends. And I pretty much almost don't ever show my kids or my husband on social anymore. So much so that people think like I'm getting a divorce. And I'm like, no, we're still married happily. I just don't show him because I'd rather be with him. Pretty neat, right? Okay. So if working more, side note, quick question for you guys. Who here, even though logically you know that working more doesn't always equal making more, who here still has that little bit of like a belief in the background? Like if you want to make more money, the immediate thought that you go into is I've got to wake up a little bit earlier, or I've got to work an extra hour, or I've got to work at night. Like, because logically we can know that making more doesn't necessarily mean making more. Working more doesn't always equal making more. There we go. I said it right. But sometimes we still think that, right? I see it time and time again. People who just start working more and more and more hours. And before you know it, they're working 50, 60, 70, 80, sometimes even 100 hours a week because they're like, this is the only way that I can make more money. Okay. So if working more is how you make more, then let's do a fun little calculation. Okay. So let's pretend I was working 40 hours per week. Okay. And let's say I wanted to, and I'm making let's just say 100,000 per year. Okay. All right. So we're just going to keep the numbers very, very simple. In order for me to make $1 million per year, I would need to work 10 times this. 400 hours per week. Who here says sign me up? Yes or no? Does this sound appealing or not so much? 400 hours per week. What do you think? Is it a yes or is it a no? Okay, if I wanted to make $10 million, well, there isn't 400 hours in the week, I'm pretty sure. If I wanted to make $10 million per year, I would only have to work 4,000 hours per week. Have we officially smashed this? Because there are literally people who have bootstrapped becoming billionaires. I guarantee you, they're not working. If we did the math, what would that be, like 400,000 hours a week? Yeah, it's not happening, right? Working more does not equal making more, okay? Who here is loving knowing this? Anyone appreciate this? Who's getting the aha? Who here says, okay, Rachel, but what then? But what then? How do I work in a way where I can produce without just constantly working? Who wants me to go deeper? I got to switch markers. We got to get a good marker for this part because this is one of my favorite things. And side note, who's excited about the bonus at the end? Let me switch markers real fast. One sec. Okay. Oh, which one shall we use? This one will work. Okay. So I love markers so much. I have an entire bin full of like Papermate markers and Sharpies. So, okay. Loving this, guys? Who's gotten at least one aha from today so far? Because this is a game-changing, it's just a completely different way of thinking. And it's been so helpful for me because I've built the wrong way. And I'm just going to straight up tell you, you guys, I'm not going to share exactly how little hours I work per week because I don't want anyone to be like, are you kidding me? But I work way less than 40 hours a week. Did you hear that? I work way less than 40 hours per week. And we've done $10 million in our businesses. So it's pretty cool. And that's why I'm excited to share this with you. Okay. Now, in order to really and truly grow your business, you need to switch from the mindset of being a freelancer to the mindset of being a business owner. Let me say that again. In order to really and truly build your business, you have to switch. Thanks, Kelsey. You have to switch your mindset from that of being a freelancer to that of being an actual business owner. Now, here's the big difference. You ready for this? In case you're like, how do I know if I'm a business owner or I'm operating still as a freelancer? Okay. Freelancers still have that whole like money follows time. And a business owner has systems for everything. Did you catch that? Business owners have systems for everything. Whew. Should I say it again? Because a lot of people get kind of like, ugh, when I talk about systems or when anyone talks about systems. But I'm just going to tell you that having a system for everything is an absolute game changer because systems save you significant time, energy, and money. That's system. Systems save you significant time, energy, and money. Cool? Because working more does not mean that you are going to make more. So we're going to flip into a totally different mindset, okay? You guys having fun so far? One of the ways to do this is to build an intentional business by design. Okay, so write those 3 words down: business by design. Business by design is something I am extremely passionate about. It absolutely changes the game. It basically switches you from being in a reactive mode to proactive and designing your business around what you want it to look like. For example, when someone says, hey, do you want to do a 3-hour masterclass on a Monday with me? I'm going to say, no, I actually don't want to because I already have my team meeting on Monday and I want to see my horses and I also want to cook dinner. Like I've got other things that I want to do. It sounds nice, but if you can trim it down to 1 hour, I'd love to. Pretty cool, right? Suddenly, when you build your business by design, it allows you to basically create a principle. Okay. So when Kelly built her business by design, she works 30 hours per week and she is making 6 figures in her business now. Drop an aha if that inspires you. Okay. So business by design frees you to work less. Mallory works 40 hours per week and she made $12,000 per month and then actually went on to get an incredible 6-figure job with profit share where she still gets to work on her own schedule. Okay. Hustle more does not equal more, making more. Working more does not equal making more. Okay. We got to break those mindsets, but let's dive into how. You guys want to know how? The 6 levers of successful freelancing businesses. So you've got to flip from freelancing mindset to business owner mindset. You guys cool with getting nerdy about systems? Or at least talking about the systems that you need in place in order to make this shift? Because the truth is, this is a game changer. There are 6 levers that you're going to want to have implemented to turn your systems, your business into a machine that works for you so that everything you do is leveraged. How many levers? I want to hear it. Let me hear it loud. Yes. Amazing. How many levers? I love this. Don says, no, thanks. There is a better way. Amen to that. You guys got it. So there are 6 levers for a successful business owner, mostly a freelancer. Okay. And what's wild is many people only have maybe 2 of these in place. This is partly why when I come into businesses, we're able to make an impact so quickly because simply building out these 6 levers transforms your business from throwing spaghetti at the wall to having a systematic machine that consistently brings in amazing clients and fuels your business. You ever heard keep your pipeline full and you thought that all that meant was continually cold calling or constantly going to business networking events? The truth is, this machine is how, my stomach's growling, this machine is how you build out consistent growth even when you're not working around the clock. Okay. All right. So let's dive into those 6 levers. Okay. Okay. Now you'll notice that they are in a funnel because you actually want to work your way down with all of these. So you start at the top of the funnel. Anyone heard of top of funnel? A lot of times people think like sales is top of funnel. No way, Jose. We've got so many more steps before that, which is awesome. Okay. So this is a complete machine. Okay. You ready for it? Lever 1 is visibility and awareness. A lot of people look for an easy button when it comes to visibility and awareness. But the truth is, this is something where if you don't put the time into it, you better have the money. And I'm talking big money. The people that I know who don't do visibility and awareness organically, they spend tons in ads. I'm talking hundreds of thousands per month. But you can do this completely organically. Drop an aha if this is big for you. So this is the very first one you want to work on, okay? Is visibility and awareness. The second one is also pretty big. I mean, all of these are huge, but this is lead generation. And there are 2 types of leads I'm talking about. One is like a hot interest lead, which would be like an application for your services. The hot interest lead is awesome because they're going to go to the next phase really fast. But oftentimes people are just going to join your email list and be nurtured to the point of making a decision. Okay. Drop an aha if this one's big for you. Okay. Are you guys, who here is already realizing that there's so much room for growth in your business? Anyone see it? Even just with the first 2, you're like, oh my gosh. Okay. Number 3 is sales. You should be getting every single prospective client on a sales call. I like to call them discovery calls. So what's big about a discovery call is this is where you step back into the expert framework and act as the expert to basically nurture them to the point of decision. Pretty neat, right? Okay, sales. 4, we've got, ready for it? Retention. I had someone in one of my programs a few years back who every single month was saying, I need new clients. I need new clients. I need new clients. But then he was constantly talking about all these clients that he was closing. So it would be like, he'd be like, I closed 3 clients this month. And then he'd be like, I need new clients. I need new clients. And after about like 6 months of that, I was like, man, you've closed so many new clients. Like you must be, maybe it was even after 3 months. You've closed so many new clients. You must be absolutely killing it. And he's like, yeah, but I still need clients. And I was like, well, what's going on? Turns out his clients only stuck with him for a month because he didn't deliver on what he promised and didn't communicate. So deliver with excellence and communicate what it is that you have going on so that your clients are never wondering. Drop an aha if this one's big for you, because this is huge. You've got to communicate. Don't wait until your clients ask you. Proactively communicate with your clients, okay? 5 is upsell. If you currently have any existing clients, you've got to offer them more. You can do this once a quarter. So upselling your clients is a really powerful process, because then your clients don't have to go and vet new talent, audit, trust, take a big risk, etc. What happens is this allows your clients to spend more time focusing on their business. But when you see a hole in your client's business, feel free to offer your services and say, hey, I noticed that you're not using Pinterest. I'd actually love to take a look at offering Pinterest for you. Would you like to discuss that? They might say yes, they might say no. But either way, you are doing them a service by upselling. Drop a ha if this is a big one for you. And R, because we ran out of space there, obviously, because it's a funnel, stands for referrals and reviews. There was one month where I sent out a request for referrals to all of my top clients. And literally, you guys, I brought on 3 new clients that month. And back then I was charging $3,500 per month. I could probably do the math in my head, but it's always risky when you're live. So we brought in an additional $10,500 per month just from those referrals. Drop a ha if this is a big one for you. And then reviews and testimonials. So review/testimonial are very similar, okay? Without all of these things in place, and by the way, in case anyone's like, well, what else? No, focus on this. Who here is realizing that you only have 1, 2, or 3 of these things in place? If you do not have a system for it, you are the one doing the legwork. So if there is not a system in place for visibility and awareness, if there's not a system in place for lead generation, if there's not a system in place for sales, if there's not a system in place for retention, upsell, referrals, review, testimonials, then it's all on you and you're back to legwork, meaning you're going to be working more hours. This machine, when it's built out, leverages your time so that you are able to achieve more in less time. Drop a ha if this has been big for you. Okay, so we've already covered a lot. I know we've got Q&A coming up, as well as the bonus, which I'm really, really excited about giving to you guys. Question for you guys. Would you like my help with all of that? Who here says it would be amazing if I could just jump on in and get your help with all of that? Okay, I have something pretty cool to share with you guys. You ready for it? Okay, so this is Georgia. And Georgia says, you ready for this? I love Georgia. 2 pieces. My big win is that I have 2 proposals out, another 2 underway, and 1 more ready to scope out after a successful discovery call last week. Better yet, these all reached out to me, no pitching required. Taking action and being consistent is paying off. Drop an aha if this is exciting for you. Yay. I love Georgia to pieces. Brandon says, so this week has been crazy. I hired a part-time developer to help with my technical support. I've hired my mom to help as a part-time assistant, doing the onboarding this weekend. Did an organization and automation overhaul on my business. Everything is run through Asana. Notice, guys, systems. All requests are automated to be put in there so nothing falls through the cracks. I'm at my first 15K month and on track to hit 20K. So yeah, it's been a busy start to the year. Since this post, Brandon has actually hired 8 team members. Continuing to scale. Drop a ha in the chat if this inspires you. Savannah says, signing contracts today for my biggest client yet, meaning since going with the click a month and a half ago, I have doubled my income. I'm signing another smaller account today as well. Notice this keyword, had a referral from a referral and set a discovery appointment. And huge, I started with a client a few weeks ago and today delivered my first batch of content. She is an 8-figure earning business coach and I was super intimidated. We went over it today and she loved it. Drop aha in the chat if this is inspiring for you. Savannah's incredible. All right, so all of this comes from my program, The Social Click. If you are looking for, drop a yes. If you are looking to build a dependable source of income from consistent clients, drop a yes. Establish an unfair advantage over competing freelancers, drop a yes. If you're looking to stand out in an oversaturated market, drop a yes. And this is my favorite one, become the go-to freelancer in your specialty, drop a yes. If there's anything on this slide where you're like, yep, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So here's what you're going to get when you invest in yourself today. I'm going to actually take this off for a second because I just want to talk about it and then dive into Q&A, which is pretty cool. I love actually pivoting. So there are 6 things I want to focus on today that are a part of the social click, since they're going to be directly applicable to you based on what we've talked about today. And that is, number 1 is the 100K toolkit. And this is how to very, very quickly generate lots of visibility and awareness, no matter what social media platform you want to use. That is included in the social click. We also have our 3B bundle so that you can build a completely templatized lead magnet funnel and email automation. Who here would love to have that templatized for you so that you can just plug it in and play and very quickly get your email list building and being able to generate leads, as well as several of the tools from the 100K toolkit that are directly able to generate leads that are looking to hire. Pretty cool, right? We have sales training, including high ticket client secrets, which is an entire program focused on continually rewiring your brain. That includes the mindset, strategies, and tactics to take this even deeper. It's hours of training so that you can consistently watch it over and over and get into that space. So high ticket client secrets, as well as our 100K discovery call. Questionnaires. Shall I share more? Because this is pretty neat. We also have, and this is many Click members' favorite thing, we have the strategic marketing plan, fully templatized. What this is a system for how to showcase that you are assessing and diagnosing your client's business with exactly what they need. And it is one of the juiciest, top converting ways to increase the yeses to your proposals. But we also have the 100K proposal, our top converting proposal of all time, which is new actually for 2023, which is really exciting. We've already jumped on that. Inside of the social click, we share programs like the YouTube Academy, IG Secrets, especially for clients, the TikTok Academy, and masterclasses on every single topic so that you can continually deliver excellence for your clients and really support them. And actually coming soon is 100K communications, so you can support your clients with incredible communication that never leaves them wondering, 100% templatized. We have templates and trainings on how to ask for referrals, reviews, and testimonials. Now, all of this is put together inside of the social click, where we have 4 amazing coaches besides me as your mentor. And a couple times a month, we actually drop leads inside of the program for our students, which is really fun and exciting. So if you would like my help with all of that, all you have to do is book a call with my team and see if it is a good fit for where you're at. And here is the link for that. I'll drop it in the chat. Here we go. And you can just fill out the application. You'll see that there's an application page, and then first there is the book a call page, and then there's a little more information on step 2, which is pretty awesome. Okay, you guys, let's dive on into Q&A. Let's go for it. And then actually, let's go ahead and share the bonus and then go into Q&A. Who here has some questions? I'm willing to bet a few of you do today. It's still not too late. We'd love to have you inside, Sherry. Okay, you guys ready for the bonus? Drop a yes if you are. What deliverables do we offer? Do you want to hear a little more about it? Let's pull it up. I mean, there's a lot inside of it. So there is weekly coaching. So weekly coaching calls live, hot seats, and those are done quarterly. Let's actually pull this up. Give me 1 second. I like how chill we all are today. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we have client attraction machine to teach you how to build case studies and build them into an integrated part of your ecosystem. The Talk Academy, my YouTube Academy, my Instagram Advanced Training, Facebook Ads Confidential. You get access to every single one of my programs unless it's a part of Click 7. And I also take you guys behind the scenes of what I'm doing with clients. I'm in there usually live 3 to 5 times a week to share mindset tips, support, a marketing tip, encouragement, etc., which is one of my favorite things to do. Daily content prompts that I've actually researched for you. And those are researched and delivered to you every single day so that you can literally know exactly what to create to move the needle in your business. There's an incredible private community. And that is a community that is active day and night. And I mean, there's still more. I can keep going. Expertly crafted funnels and templates for absolutely every single thing that you need in your business. 100 case systems. So that includes the scripts, proposals, discovery calls, follow-up, hiring, firing, outsourcing, client workflows, scaling up, expert level delegation. There is so much in there. Okay, let's go ahead and dive on into questions. I'll drop that link one more time for those of you who want to book a call with my amazing team. Okay, let's go to questions. Guys ready? Or should we do the bonus first? Let's do the bonus. Okay, bonus time. Here we go. There is the bonus. All right, first question. And Sherry, we'd love to take you. I've always just adored you, so that would be so fun. Okay, what do you offer for $1,000 a month? Because there are so many platforms and other components to social media. $1,000 per month would actually most likely be 1 or 2 platforms max, especially if you're just starting with high ticket pricing. A lot of people think $1,000 a month needs to cover everything, but a social media manager's salary is like $30,000 to $50,000 a year. So that would be an absolute steal of the deal, but completely underpricing and undervaluing your time unless you are just repurposing content from, let's say, like Instagram to Facebook, LinkedIn. Does that make sense? Everyone I know who's in the social click loves it. Well, thanks for sharing. I love everyone who's in the social click. It's an amazing group of people. I feel like pitching on LinkedIn has changed so much. What are your thoughts on pitching on there nowadays? Right now, it's not the hottest place to secure clients. Pitching can be really good practice for people when they're getting started, but the market became so saturated on LinkedIn. I'm just not a huge fan of it anymore. So I would actually recommend instead just building a network and posting valuable content there. But inside of the click, I talk about jobs to clients and how to access people who are looking for remote consultants, managers, strategists, etc. And that's one of my favorite tools, which is kind of fun. TikTok's still your favorite platform? I feel like TikTok and YouTube are kind of in a toss-up right now, which is kind of funny. So Yeah. Those 2 are both, like, pretty high up there. Um, I also am really, really liking suddenly there's a huge boost to Facebook business pages and Facebook profiles that aren't on professional mode. So, I kind of feel like I changed my mind about what's my favorite every day. Do you guys feel that way too? Like, I don't know. It's kinda like trying to pick a favorite kid. It changes based on the day. You don't really ever have a consistent favorite most of the time. Um, how to bring results for clients when we sell social media management services since organic traffic is getting less on IG. I would switch to a different platform or change up your deliverables, so that you are getting results. Now, I will say I did kind of predict this a few months ago. I think that Instagram is slowly declining and not so slowly declining, which is weird because I see Facebook starting to take off on a new level, which I'm really excited about, oddly. So I would almost pivot to other platforms unless you're a part of like the 1% of Instagram strategists that are getting results there. So when we charge like 4,500 per month for social media management, what services are included? It totally depends on what your services are. So we back when we charged 4,500 per month, it was usually organic social for like 2, maybe 3 platforms, but kind of repurposed content, and then usually some Facebook ads involved with that too. What is the best way to figure out what you want to offer as a social media or as a freelance services? Make a list of the things that you enjoy doing online. I actually have a list of different specialties that you can go into as a freelancer. Let me pull this up. So this is called 67 Ways to Work from Home. So you can kind of look through this list and see what's pulling your attention. There we go. Okay. There we go. Perfect. And then just like star the ones that you find are the most interesting, and then feel free to try different things and see what you like. Reminder, if you want to apply for the social click and book a call with my team, you can head here and we have some super cool surprise bonuses for those who jump on in and join us, including the 100K blueprint so that you can create a customized plan all for the next year to support your growth and consistent building of systems. Okay, let's keep answering some good questions. All right, when we charge like, or I already answered that one. Um, Offering social media totally changed things for me. I love that. On those 1 to 2 platforms for $1,000, you just create posts or design, advise, etc. This is going to be different for every single person. Based on it's tough because I can't create your deliverables if I don't know your skill set, your specialty, what you're good at, etc. For 1,000 a month, back when I charged 1,000 a month, I was doing just posts like graphic posts using Canva and then just copywriting a little bit. So at 1,000 a month, that's not usually going to get big results. Everyone in Click is doing well. It's been pretty cool to see them all grow so quickly. Is it possible to make 6 figures as an Instagram expert, or should I add another platform like TikTok? VJ is actually a Click member who just offers Instagram expert services, and he just recently hit 15 and then 25K months. So it is absolutely possible. What is the trend for 2023 for social media? I did do a YouTube video on my predictions for 2023 for marketing. So there's, I think, 13 marketing predictions there. I purchased your TikTok course already. If you purchased it recently, we'll actually give you a refund because you'll be getting access to it. If you purchased it a while back, then it just kind of is what it is, if that makes sense. So let me know. What is your best platform to close a deal with a client? IG, LinkedIn, email, or TikTok? All of them can work. I feel like clients stalk you everywhere. So it's interesting. A lot of clients find me on Instagram. A lot of clients find me on LinkedIn. I do no cold email at all. And then let me scroll back up. I do get clients from TikTok, like someone who is a very famous reality star just reached out to me this morning looking for help. And then Facebook is also another big one. Is using a lot of hashtags still helpful to increase visibility? It can be, but only if they are all directly related to the topic, but only on TikTok and Instagram, slowly phasing out of that. I've dropped the bonus a few times, so I'll drop the bonus training again, and then let's go ahead and share. So there's the bonus right there, and here is the link to apply for the social click. There we go. Is it possible for freelancers with no school credentials? I still don't have school credentials, so you tell me. We're in this together. How do you price for running Facebook ads? Any tips for it by any chance? It totally depends on your level of expertise. So that's the biggest thing that I'm going to share. You probably shouldn't be charging less than $1,000 per month to run Facebook ads, but without knowing how your Facebook ads work, I can't tell you what price point I would recommend for you. Yes, recently. Then Teresa, then if you jump on into the social click, we'll refund you for that and cancel the payment plan. You got it. Amazing. Enister says, are portfolios and resumes necessary? No and no, absolutely not. I have no portfolio and I have no resumes. And I will say, it does boggle the mind of people who come from corporate. And sometimes, like, a lot of the bro marketers will get really mad at me because they say that, like, my lack of portfolio and resume doesn't make sense to their brain. But I'm fine with that because I'd rather just focus on growth. You know what I mean? Do you have any suggestions for those of us who love learning with you but aren't ready for the social click? Yep. Head on over to my YouTube. I post a lot of free tutorials. What are some good industries to niche into? I do not believe in niching at all. 0%. 0%. Don't niche. Where did I get my glasses? Target Optical. They're Ray-Bans. So turns out I'm nearsighted, and I was like, it's time to go to glasses. And I love them so much. Like, never, I'm not going to say never, but I don't want contacts and I don't want LASIK. Like, I just love wearing glasses. Nope. The bonus, it was dropped right before the book the phone call. How did I make that decision to drop hairdressing and transition into SM? I feel like I'm doing a disservice by letting my prior expertise go. Well, you can still do your prior expertise as like a hobby, which can be awesome. Yep. Like, for example, I still do hair. Like, a few of my friends have gotten married since I dropped being a hairstylist, and I've done their hair for weddings. And I get to do my kids' hair any morning that they let me, which is kind of fun. So good, Linnea. Isn't it true? Is this good for someone like me who is starting a new business to help me set up the right way from the start? It will be a really great way to get those foundations in place and get you going with accountability, with coaches, and with all the trainings that you need to really implement things from the ground up. Good question, Danielle. Love it. Do you recommend us start fulfilling the service by ourselves first before we start outsourcing? Yes. Is it okay if we directly outsource team from the beginning for social media management services? It's okay if you can afford that from the beginning. Enister says, I just have a question. So I learned from you, right? Am I allowed to share what I learned in my social media, even without crediting you to show what I learned? I learned immediately because it's not like it's even from my brain. I was thinking of including in my content that I learned it from you. That's always an interesting question because I'm not someone who's like fighting for credit, but what I've always done, and this has been really helpful, is to give credit to the person I learned it from. So I don't have to constantly talk about that person throughout a video or throughout topics. But the biggest thing I've found is that straight up, if you just mention whoever you learned something from once, it makes a huge difference. So I've always done that, and it's just kept me from having like fallouts with people where I learned stuff from. Does that make sense? So most people don't care. No, let me rephrase that. Some people don't care if they don't get credit, but a really good habit to get into is like, this is who I learned this from, or I got this from this book. So that's my personal methodology. But people teach my stuff a lot without giving credit. Okay, it is 11:30. I'm going to let you guys go. Go have an amazing day. One last thing that I will share for those of you who have been wondering. So for the social click, for those of you who were wondering, you can actually get funding for the social click in case you're like, I'm not quite sure if I'm ready. I don't know. This is something I want to do, but maybe my business isn't quite yet at the place where I can just jump in and make this happen. So we actually partnered recently with a funding company that allows funding for the entire year, which is pretty cool. So feel free to apply, book a call, and Antonio can support you with seeing what options make sense for you. So I'll catch you guys later. Go have